I just want to start off this video by apologizing for a lot of things. One, I haven't posted in forever. And two, again, notifications. I guess we're going to just do that. 3, this isn't scripted. 4, I might get distracted. I might get sidetracked. I'm going to try to keep it as concise as possible. And I will be filming this normally as I play the game in the background. Unfortunately, I was not able to figure out how the heck do I add audio over video. Who knows, maybe I'll figure it out one day. But today we will be talking about exploiters in Rohai, specifically exploiters that have gone onto the leaderboard, because there is so many of them. And I know you might be wondering to yourself, well, there's a lot of high-level players, but that doesn't mean that they're exploiters. How do you know they're exploiters? Well, obviously, you need to look at their profiles. So I feel like we're going to start with the biggest offender that is extremely well known for this, because they, I believe, are number 7 on the leaderboard, and they have been there for a while. I didn't even notice that they were there. I mean, I did notice they were there, but I didn't know that they were, like, they just appeared. I thought they were always there. Shows you how long they've been there and how the Rohai hasn't done anything about it. So, yeah. Let's get into the profile, and as you can see here, there isn't much to explore normally. There's really only just the friends count, following, which is oddly extremely small, which doesn't need to be a sign that it's an exploiter. Not exactly. It's when you look at the badges that they start to look extremely suspicious. At first, these appear to be normal badges, from Ninja Legends, I think the game is called, I'm not really sure. And obviously that isn't, the weirdest thing. It looks pretty normal, right? Until you notice these. This one's obviously, they played Pet Simulator X once and played whatever that is. Sorry. But what is the strangest thing is the badge that is Royal High Honor Roll. Now, if you haven't played Royal High, which, if you haven't, why are you here? Honestly. But if you have played Royal High, you would know that it's extremely weird that there is no other badge that is Royal High related besides this one. Because if you know anything about Royal High, you know you need to level up a lot to get onto the leaderboard. And if I just show you on here where this person is, please load, thank you. They're at level 50,000. And again, if you know anything about leveling, there's a lot of ways how to level up these days. As you can see, I'm using Art Class right now. But here's the thing. In Art Class, to get XP, you need a, guess. And you need to guess correctly. And for that, you get badges. So, if I just scroll here, it says here, you get a badge for guessing correctly for the first time. For the first time, you get a badge. And our class is a very, very good way to farm. But it's clearly that they didn't, because if they never guessed, then as you can see here, they would have gotten 0 experience, because they never guessed. So obviously, they didn't play Art Class, so Art Class being a possibility for farming is already out. And in fact, every single Campus 3 realm is out. This is because if you enter Campus 3, you will receive a welcome package. Let me just show you real quick. Here it is, welcome package. You will receive that upon entering Campus 3. And as you can see here, this account doesn't have the Campus 3 welcome package, okay? So, already a little bit weird, because, you know, they didn't use Campus 3, which, if you know, is like really like the main realm, and it has been for a while. And but you were wondering to yourself, you know, maybe they grinded up this before Campus 3's release. Because, you know, if you take a look at their join date, you would see that it says the 21st of April 2021. And I believe Campus 4 came out in 2023 in August. Sounds right, yes. So, you could say, you know, maybe they just played before and that's how they got it. A little odd how not a lot of people talked about it, but, you know, maybe it was actually genuine. Maybe that's why we don't talk about it. Well, the problem with that is that there's another one. There's another welcome package for Campus 1 and 2, and I believe it is even if you enter any game, you get that. Don't quote me on that, but I know you at least achieve it if you get into Campus 1 or 2. I'm gonna have to look this up a little bit later. Editing Adela will tell you if I am being delusional or if I'm actually being correct. But that means that Campus 2 and Campus 1 are off the table as how the heck did they even level up? And if you know anything about Campus 1 and Campus 2, originally they were the best ways of farming levels. Nowadays it's like quests and it's art, and even if you could say maybe they did quests. Again, there is badges for that. The first badge is for 50 quests. You might say maybe they did less. If that's the case, then they couldn't have gained over 50,000 levels with that. It is impossible because I have completed over 10,000 quests. I have completed 14,000 quests, and I'm only on level 6,404, and I entered Campus 4 with a little over 1,000 levels. So about 5,000 levels I have gotten through the quests, and that's not even including the needs and, you know, occasionally playing really big classroom, which is in Campus 3, so they couldn't have gone with that either. And they couldn't have really farmed with needs either because, especially this quickly, energy doesn't take that long to go down. And we know that they have at least farmed, if we're going to take the theory, maybe they farmed before Campus 3 was released, then hunger and hygiene haven't been released yet. So going by energy, although it is a lot of XP at the beginning and kind of still is to this day, it still isn't enough to get you to 50k levels in 4 years. It really, truly isn't. It is just not the case. You just cannot. You can't. Mathematically, and if you think about it timing-wise, it just doesn't make sense. I would also like to point out there's other ways to farm, of course. Not just these methods. There's obviously Sunset Island, which does give you a little bit of XP, but unless you rigged the voting and played it for a vote, like for hours and hours and hours and hours on end, then sure. But I seriously doubt that anybody has this much time on their hands. And I don't believe there's a back for joining Sunset Island, so you can make the assumption that maybe it's Sunset Island. But it's a very small amount of XP that you get. Even if you do win first prize, I believe it is only 300 XP. Again, editing it will confirm the numbers. So again, that doesn't exactly add up to getting 50k levels. But when I found out about the situation, which I believe was about 2 days ago, this person had about 41,000 levels. About a few days ago, they had about 41,000 levels, right? Like 3 to 2 days ago. Don't tell me from Sunset Mother Flippin' Island they got 9k levels. Don't even try to tell me that, because that is physically impossible to get. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much XP takes to get into, 9,000 levels, but I know Sunset Island ain't gonna help you with that. It truly, truly isn't. Even if you rig the voting, be first all the time, you can't do that. Well, Sunset Island is more for farming diamonds rather than levels. So that is why I really don't think that Sunset Island could be it. Oh yeah, and also there's Royal High Archery, but I think that only gives 10 XP. So I don't think we can really say much about that. So yeah. The timeline wise, it just truly does not make sense, so I would definitely say that Respawn probably, most definitely, has exploited. But of course, here's just one out of the 8? Out of the 8 we're going to be looking today. And if you're wondering to yourself, well, hey, that's actually a lot of people, that's a lot of people that have exploited to get on the board. Well, according to the person who has basically provided me with the majority of these names, apparently there are 64 accounts that have exploited. Now, I don't know the names of all these 64 accounts, but I wouldn't be so surprised, especially because of the absolute blatant exploitation that has already been done. Let's move on to the next one. We basically went through a lot of stuff in the first one, which included, of course, how to even farm these things. Let's move on to Gamer Girl Roblox YT. So this one is a bit odd. If you look at the username, this account pops up. And that is a little bit bizarre, because you can't see the badges. I'm uncertain why, but I can't look at this account much further. I don't know if I looked up the wrong account, but according to the tweet that I found, this is in fact the person. In fact, if I go into the Royal High honor roll on here, and you're glitching, how lovely. If I look here, number 14 it was, yeah, and this is glitching, okay. So, basically my idea is either this actually got resolved, but the fact that it's still on there is a little bit weird, because it says that they don't have any badges. If you're wondering how much it took, how much grinding it took, at the time of recording this, 3 days. It took them 3 days to grind up so much. Yeah, okay, buddy. Sure. Sure. Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, then. So, yeah, this is like a brand new account. I have no idea. Besides exploitation. So, I can't really say much besides that. Enough of Gamer Girl. Let's move on to something with a little bit more personality. If you can even call it that. So, let's see. We have Ice Sinisters. At the time I found the tweet, they had about 33,000 levels, almost 34,000, and they were number 19. Let's see what number they are now. Please work for me. Number 20. They were actually kicked off a little bit, which is really, really nice to see. But it seems like they have actually not moved up their level since the tweet's founding, which I believe is about, at the time of recording this, a day ago. It's possible that they might have exploited all at once and then just left it be. But let's take a look at this account, So, they joined on the 23rd of June, 2021. Again, looks pretty bland, but, maybe they just like to keep their friend circle very small, It's clear that they like Trade Tower, because it seems like they've played that quite a lot. And, again, a little coincidence is that they played Pet Simulator X. This is something that's a little bit familiar, you know, playing one game, doing rather well, I would say, and then suddenly playing Pet Simulator X, and then getting a Royal High on a bad roll, you know, it's a little bit suspicious, but, you know, maybe it's a coincidence. I'm not saying anything. However, like I said, the fact that there is no other badge on Royal High besides that one roll is just impossible. Sure, you may have joined almost 4 years ago, but honestly, even still, if you don't have any badges besides that, not even a freaking welcome packages, it's just, you're automatically, to a lot of people, considered a scam. And next point. So, we are just moving on, because there's not much to say that hasn't already been said. Now, at this point, there's only been kind of noobs. Basically, no books on the account ever, and they haven't had any changed avatars. They were usually bacons or just plain characters. Well, this one changed it up a bit. Burger Kasaki, aka Develsa, aka at the time of finding the tweet 23rd player. Let's see what they are at the time of recording this. They are nowhere to be found. What is the actual? Say what now? What? Oh, they're 28. Okay, so they dropped significantly. And funnily enough, similar to Ice Sinisters, they are not exploited anymore. They just kind of probably ranked up a bunch of levels and then they just stopped. At least that's what it appears to be. You may be wondering to yourself, you know, this looks like a very normal account, and you know, if you just scroll down a little bit, you kind of find something a little bit more interesting. If you go to the badges, so this one is a little bit more nuanced. It's clearly shown that this is an actual person. Now this one is a little bit more, you know, personality, and it seems like a real account. And I'm betting to believe that this actually might be a legitimate account made by a legitimate person. But my name? But if you know what dev stands for, it means developer. And has Dev Elsa made any games? Oh yes, they have. I don't think I want to play that. I'm not even gonna attempt to play that. I don't have the brain cells to probably comprehend that. So yeah, again, not much to say besides the fact that this is also a game developer who exploited another game. You would think that maybe, I don't know, game developers wouldn't exploit, but apparently not. Why would they? Why would they be a normal human being? Alright, let's move on to the next one, which is Scooby Snacks. Oddly enough, even back then when I found the tweet, and even now, as you probably saw, this is really strange because they have the exact same level count as Dev Elsa, and they also have both exploited. So this profile seems legitimate, right? This seems like a legitimate account. If you look into the... Oh. Well. Shoot. So the only thing I can really see here is the front page. And honestly, that's kind of all I need to know. Now, it's not impossible that this person may or may not have been legitimate, but I'm really not betting on that. Although this isn't the most compelling of evidence, it's still a little weird that they have the exact same level count as Dev Elsa. And let me just see if they're friends with Dev Elsa. If they are, you might actually laugh. Okay, oddly enough, they're not friends. So it seems like more of a coincidence. I don't know if this is actually a legitimate account, but it was listed as one of the accounts that are probably exploited. And I don't know. I can't really see their profile that much. So although this is probably one of the most doubtful ones, it's definitely not impossible. Anyway, let's move on. We're getting nearly done here. We only have 3 accounts to get to. Holy crap. Okay, I'm so tired from this. Tired from talking about these people. KBG Theok? I hope to God that sounds like a racist slur, but I'm hoping to Jesus that it's actually not, and that's actually fine. Anyway, I refer to this person as KBG. KBG looks very blank. There's nothing much here except, you know, there's badges. And if you look at the badges, they actually look a little bit convincing. Trying to convince me that they're not a, you know, an exploiter. And, you know, this doesn't look too horrible. At least they have, you know, time badges. More efforts definitely than the others for trying to conceal the fact that they are exploiting, at least. Because, oh yeah, fun fact, none of them have the time badges. You know, I refer to them as the time badges because they represent how much time you spent on high, even though the math is a little bit off. For example, I think Software Mermaid says 100 hours, but even if your play time says 100 hours, if you convert that, it doesn't give you the badge. Like, nice to you. Anyway, so basically this whole entire profile is just RI badges, which you might be wondering to yourself, well, that seems legitimate, right? This could have been a grinding account, I admit. My question again, how did they grind? There is no way that they again grinded through any of the methods that I talked about in the beginning of this video. Literally no bloody way. They at least went a little bit of effort by confirming that they joined Royal Ween in 2023. And you know, they're a dark fairy, having a little bit of personality. You know, if they played during Glitter Frost, not impossible, at least we know when they played. But what's interesting here is that they don't really have anything else besides this. You know, I'm wondering to myself, well, maybe they quit afterwards, and that wouldn't be too weird. But again, this is a top leveling player that made a bunch of levels in such a short amount of time. I'm going to try and find them. I don't know if I will. If this thing will stop glitching. Thank you. I swear to God that they were in a thread like this. Okay, so they're apparently extremely low. Like, extremely low. They're only about, like, 11k? Basically 11k. 226. I'm gonna try to scroll that far, but I don't promise that I'm gonna make it that far. It's not done. What in the actual frick? Okay, they had 11k, so they have probably dropped, I would imagine. And I'll found them 240. Yep, they've dropped. It definitely seems like they have stopped exploiting after a little while, but you know, not really nice to exploit it. Kind of seems weird that they haven't really leveled up since then. You could say that they may have afterwards because they got everything they wanted in the game, which is a little weird. Not gonna lie, especially because this avatar is blank. It's just a Roblox noob. Yet they spent money on getting the diamond boosters, which are not cheap. Those things are not cheap. Not at all. So the fact that they went out of their way to spend Robux on getting diamond boosters and not their own avatar, it's a bit suspicious, not gonna lie. You might run into yourself that maybe because of that, they really liked Row High, but they haven't leveled up since then. So it's extremely possible that they just stopped. Okay guys, final two, we're nearly there. Royal High complete account. Lol. Okay, well this one is basically just a big red flag. A blank account, bacon hair. And if you look at the badges, oh my. Oh, they joined on the 7th of January. This year. I'm filming this on the 13th. Well, then, I think we can definitely most confidently say that those 15k plus levels are definitely a scam and definitely an exploit and definitely not earned. Oh, would you look at that? They have fallen. They have fallen all the way to 113. So, yeah. These accounts seem to be falling rather quickly. Although it is extremely weird, I think that maybe they would exploit more and more. But surprisingly, they have learned not to try dethrone Tiana. Because, believe it or not, there have been several accounts who have tried to dethrone her, and obviously, the community doesn't like that. Let's move on to the final one for today. I am tired. Fuck that. Fuck that. But, okay, blank account. It kind of sounds like a similar style name to KVG. It looks like kind of a word, but it's not really a word. I don't know. This is a little suspicious. I mean, I'm sure it's nothing, right? Let's look at the badges. Oh, we should look at that. I'm not even kidding. If you go inside of Roblox, type in Bokfa, and then compare KBG, you will get the exact same badges. I'm dumbfounded. I am truly dumbfounded. So, I would assume that this is one person who has done this twice. Because if they didn't, then I guess the owners of those accounts should be best friends. Because, I mean, just look at this. This is absolutely insane. And that is the final account of today. Honestly, this really tired me out. I haven't even been recording for this long and I'm already tired. I don't know if I'm gonna make any more high content. Possibly, maybe. I know that the quality is going to be absolute stupid. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. I am fully aware of that. I am going to try as I go on, if I go on, get better. But for now, we are just gonna have to deal with this horrid quality. I apologize for everybody's eyes and ears. But that's all for today. My name is Adela, and I will see you maybe next time. Bye-bye.